The views and opinions of the hosts or guests of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the management or staff of Intercom Memphis.
WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis. Go local on 92.9 FM ESPN. Go national on ESPN 790 AM.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gastons White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports. Now, here's your host, Larry Rea.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790. This is Larry Rea talking outdoors for the next 90 minutes on Sports 790. And Blake Morgan is our show producer. And this being the first Saturday of the month, we normally take your calls, and we're not doing it again this month. I promise you, we're going to have open mic Saturday and take your calls on the first Saturday in August, because that's when Dave Gabbard. Good morning, Dave.
I have to climb that tree.
You'll be at Big Sandy.
I'll be at Big Sandy. Duck blind drawing time.
Duck blind drawing, so we'll have that. And Gene Smith will be in studio with me, Lord willing. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, he looks good, you know.
Yes, he does. Look taller
On the
in
5th
the
of
studio.
July, he didn't blow himself up yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did almost. But
I think
hey,
he like wet matches.
We're going to keep our same format just about, because I know you folks want to hear what's going on the White River. And that means Ron Branaman, general manager at Gastons White River Resort, where I go to catch trout in northwest Arkansas near Lakeview. And Ron's on the line with us right now. Ron, I know we have had lots of rain. What has it done over there in Mountain Home in your area for as the water conditions on the White River?
Larry, we've had just enough rain to make it nice, to be honest with you. Our yards are in great shape. The lake's in good shape. We haven't had any kind of flooding type conditions like some parts of the country's had.
We've had it here.
We've had just a really nice spring, summer type thing going on. We'll get a little rain, and then it'll move out, and the sun will pop out, and a couple hours later we may get another little dousing of rain, but it's not been any severe thunderstorms or flash flooding or anything in this area, so we're real fortunate. Bull Shoals Lake is in great shape. They've been running a lot of 1 and 2 generators here on at Bull Shoals Dam on the river, and our water conditions have been really good.
Well, and somebody asked me how many generators are at Bull Shoals Dam.
Bull Shoals has 8 generators, and of course, when we're running 6, 7, 8 generators, that's pretty fast water. We haven't had to put up with that so far. We've had a lot of 1 and 2 generators. About a month ago, we had 5 and 6 on a couple of days, but here this past week, they've been running almost 2 generators around the clock, and sometimes in the afternoon they'll drop that off. So if we get some really hot weather, then they may kick on a little bit more water on us. But so far, they've been with just 2 generators around the clock almost, and we'll take that year-round if we could get it.
Take that, and also the temperature doesn't affect the fishing on the White River, because that water temperature is always...
It's always about 52 degrees year-round, so we fish year-round, and the outside temperature has little effect on these trout
Yeah, and somebody asked, they do not have a beach up there, okay? There is no sunbathing and beaching out there. No dipping in the White River.
No, just throw your watermelon in there or your beer and it'll stay cold.
Yeah. It'll keep it cold, won't it?
They might have a chapter of the Polar Bear Club.
They might. If you get your toe in that water, and even in July, as we're in right now, in this July 4th holiday weekend, water temperature, if you get it right, you get that great fog on the river early in the morning.
Say, 52-degree water, you just go sit by the river. The ambient temperature in there is going to be probably, 70?
They sell jackets and sweatshirts in the summertime, right, Ron?
Early in the morning, especially when you're running up and down that river, you're going to need something on besides a T-shirt, or you'll get cold.
You will. Well, tell us what about fishing-wise?
Fishing's been really good. We're catching a lot of fish on this 2 generators of water. Mm-hmm. We're catching a lot of fish on Cleo spoons and Buoyant spoons, Panther Martins, any type of little spinner. Rooster tails are great, Meps, Blue Fox spinners, that type of thing. Small countdown Rapalas. And they're doing a lot of jig fishing on this 2 generators of water.
Yeah.
And the hot colors on the jigs have been brown jig or black jig, about a 1/8 ounce marabou jig. We haven't had that 6, 5, and 6 generators of water, so we're not throwing that rogue too much, but we're throwing the heck out of them number 7 countdown Rapalas, that's for sure.
And this is a great time to come to Gastons because July, as he said, it's hot, but the river is cold. So tell the listeners how to get in touch with you guys and maybe get a trip. And you guys, you got guides, you got the restaurants, you got guides, whatever you want. You got the nature trails, you got tennis, you got swimming. So tell them, and the Visitor Center, of course, is a great thing to go see. But how do they get in touch with y'all?
All right, best way for reservations is to call. It's 870-431-5202. If they want to email us on getting some more information, it's gastons@gastons.com. And we've got a real nice webpage at www.gastons.com.
And you can go to lroutdoors.com, too, and click on that link that we've got for all the information like that. All right, Ron, buddy, thank you. We'll talk to you in August, hard to believe, okay?
Yep. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, buddy, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Ron Branaman from over at Gastons White River Resort. And, Dave's been down in Georgia. He's got Georgia on his mind, down visiting relatives. And Gene's been up at Clarksville, Tennessee, and we're going to talk a little bit with Gene later in the show about an event that he took part in because it's a wonderful event up there. But things are going on. I know the commission had their budget little session last week.
Yeah, a little budget session. This is the time for budgets.
Yeah, everybody's talking about budget.
And this is the time to put in for your WMA deer hunt drawings.
Yep.
I've already put mine in. It'll go through like the 23rd of July, something like that, if you want to try to hopefully get drawn for President's Island.
Yeah. One
of those right things. So it's not, it's the dog days of summer at the TWRA, but there's still things going on.
Oh, lots of things going on. And we was talking about the weather a while ago, and later on in the show, we're going to be talking to Chris Park, one of our area managers, on another thing. But I'm going to ask Chris how his crops are doing.
Yeah, we need to find out.
Because we
had some rain here.
They've been getting, up and a little bit further north of us, from our waterfowl units are getting dumped on 3.5 inches of rain like every other day. So, more or less, the first fields be concerned about be our dove fields, and I think all the sunflowers are just washed out.
Yeah. Well, I know there's some parts of West Tennessee didn't get the rain that we got, and then at the same time, some of them got hammered here in midweek that we didn't get as much here. But any more rain, it doesn't make any difference. And I'm really concerned about the poults. I was talking the other day with Ty Inman out of Fayette County about their situation, and there's really some concerns about what the cold weather that we had back in April and May, how that affected them, and then all the water on top of that.
I seen a hen the other day that just had one poult with her.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's usually, the normal, hen turkey lay about 14 eggs.
Yeah. One.
One.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the research shows that, out of the 14, you get a clutch of about 11.
Mm-hmm.
And if we need out of that 11, if we want to keep the turkey populations where they're at,
right,
we need about 5 of those to survive.
So if you got twos and threes,
yeah, if you got
like
twos and threes, we've been lucky over some years, have 6s and 7s.
I know but this could have a domino effect,
right?
Maybe not next year, but the year after, and things along that line. And of course, we know how it affects Shelby Forest. Gene's been out there when the water's been in there, so
yeah, I have.
Have you dried out yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I didn't mean that. I mean, I'm not talking about
but you're right. When the water's up there, the nests get covered,
and it changes the whole complexion of Shelby Forest. And so we know that Shelby Forest is the mother of all turkey hunting in Tennessee. So
probably over the last 5 years here in West Tennessee. I would say at least 3 of them during the nesting season when we've had high water, we've really been hit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Eagle Lake Refuge, I hadn't been down there. It usually gets underwater, and that's a good sign. We got danger down there.
Well, I know this rain has been unbelievable. I've never seen it like it was the other night, and so I know boat sales went up probably.
Yeah.
or went by.
The building supply people run out of gopher wood.
Yeah, you can only find so many places to get around when everything's underwater. And,
right.
But I will say I had a great time Sunday night at the Bill Dance when Bill Dance was honored with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Distinguished Citizen Award at the Hilton Hotel, and those folks did a great job. So glad that Bill got that award. A great auction afterwards. The fishing package that we put together, last time I saw it was over $200, and then I know Ron Wong did a lot of work on that. And when I saw that bid for that trip, bass fishing trip with Johnny Morris and Bill Dance went for $22,000. It was amazing. But great time Monday at Ridgeway Country Club at the golf tournament that. Those guys did a wonderful job getting the course ready after almost 7 inches of rain. It was remarkable that we could even play. So my hat's off to all the folks out at Ridgeway Country Club, Packer DeWitt, and all the guys out there that got that golf course ready. It was pretty cool and everything. All right, let's take our first break, okay? Blake Morgan's our show producer. We're going to come right back and talk a little bit more what's going on in the Mid-South, and we might try to hook up. We've been trying to get Clagett Talley on to talk about Pickwick Lake and see what's going on over there on Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Now back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790 on this July the 5th. I hope everybody is having a great 4th of July holiday weekend, being safe, and had a lot of good family time. As I said, we won't be taking your calls today, but
I want to wish my mom a kind of a happy belated birthday. Her birthday's 4th of July.
Oh,
really?
right.
She turned 90 this year.
She turned 90.
Right.
Your dad's birthday was back in May or
back in March.
March. Has it been that long ago?
Yeah.
And he turned 90.
98.
98, yeah.
Wow. So how many years they been married?
Oh, 70-something.
70-something years. Wow, that is amazing.
73, 74. Something
Okay.
like that.
And your mom's name?
Is Mildred.
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 All right.
One of them good
Happy
old country
birthday,
names.
Mildred.
All right. Good. Happy belated birthday to Mildred Gabbard. All right.
Gabbard.
That's what Gabbard.
Or if you're from Kentucky, they say Gabbard.
Gabbard. Well, I'm not from Kentucky. All right. We got Clagett Talley on with us this morning. Good morning, Clagett.
Good morning. How are you guys
Hey,
doing?
man, I tell you, we've been playing phone tag here for about 3 weeks and everything. So
I noticed that.
So we're glad to have you with us on this Saturday morning to talk fishing on Pickwick Lake. A lot of folks have asked, well, why you keep avoiding Pickwick? You talk about Kentucky Lake. Well, all this rain, I know you guys got some. My wife was at Pickwick on Monday, believe it or not, and ate up there at the state park, the new state park, a nice lodge and everything. And
yes, sir.
but she went up there and played golf. So,
okay.
but she said that y'all didn't get the 7 inches that we got. So what's
we've had rain, just not as bad as some of the other areas.
Well, tell us what's going on fishing wise on the Tennessee River there at Pickwick.
Well, on the lake side, we're catching a lot on. When I say lake side, I think we're all kind of familiar with that. On where the the dammed up water and everything.
Right. Yeah.
I have to remember. People, the locals, it's the lake and the river.
Well, if you say
right.
Kentucky Lake starts on the other side of the dam,
exactly.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
And Pickwick Lake starts on the other
upper
side.
side.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So tell us what's happening on the upper side.
on the upper side, the fish are deep. If anybody's tournament fishing, that's all they're going to care about is fishing, in deeper water, 15 to 25 foot of water.
Uh-huh.
And we're catching them on deep diving crankbaits, Strike King 6XDs and that new 10XD, which is a crazy bait. But
yeah, it is.
It's huge. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's wild when you show it to people for the first time.
It is. And our listeners out there may not know how big is that big lake? Is that?
Oh God, I don't know how to compare it. The 6XD is probably the largest crankbait we've ever dealt with. And
it is.
This other thing that's I guess about twice the size of that.
It is. It makes you think deep sea fishing.
Yeah, it does. It sure does. It's huge.
When you throw it a few times and things along that line, but you're fishing deep, right?
Right. Yes, sir. That's right.
So what about so go on.
And just pick fish baits because this time of year you're going to fish deep, and most people are just interested in big fish. So
yep.
The Strike King spoons, that's a very popular bait.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing that on ledges, everybody's out on ledges fishing, and these new electronics. If it wasn't for that,
my goodness,
probably wouldn't have quite as much competition if you was a local. But these new electronics have made things kind of even out a lot as far as people that aren't from that area coming in and finding fish easier. It's pretty amazing. It
is amazing when you think about maybe even 10 years ago. The electronic things have changed, and you're able to.
You're right.
Yeah, it's almost like when you buy a new computer. Time you get it home, it's changed.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's wild.
And electronic fishing's the same way.
That's right. There's some people that if they don't have $10,000 with electronics on their boat, they don't think that they're able to compete with it. It's
amazing. It's amazing when you know how much a boat costs now too. So
that's right.
And the gasoline price and everything. But Clay, what about the water itself? Temperatures and colors. I know that with the rain and things along that line. What's going on with the water conditions at Pickwick this week?
Well, we get rain when it rains in East Tennessee. Of course, we're getting all that water. So
that's right.
It's a little high, and but it's pretty normal for. We're just used to a lot of fluctuation here anyway, so that doesn't affect us too bad. And I've been doing a lot of fishing below the dam, and as long as the floodgates aren't open, we've been doing that. We had to cancel a couple of trips because the floodgates were just wide open. And if there's any way to cancel those trips when they're like that, I do. I have been down there when they're open, and it's kind of a wild ride.
I have been there too. Been there, done that. Because.
Right.
If you're going to try to catch some of the big stripers and things along that line, but when they're pumping that water out of there.
That's right. Sometimes people are diehard and they just want to go anyway.
No. I've seen those people standing over on the bank casting out, and I'm thinking if they catch something, they're going in with a fish. They're going to go. They're going to go right in there and everything. In July, we're into July. This being the July 4th holiday weekend, and you guys know that you can start doing some night fishing, I'm sure too.
Yeah, that's real popular. I've never been much of a night fisherman. I used to fish a few late night tournaments, and on guide trips. So I do a lot more of that now. We just seem to break more things than we do catching fish. We try to end, by the time it's getting dark. But people love it. Yeah, people fish here all night long, and some people swear that they do much better at night than they do during the day.
Yeah, I think
using dark colors helps. Dark crankbaits and black spinnerbaits, stuff like that.
Well, I like day fishing. I like the crack of dawn and things along that. I was telling them, Clagett, how to get in touch with you about maybe booking a trip. How do they get in touch with you?
I've got a website, PickwickAreaGuide.com. And
PickwickAreaGuide.com. Did y'all hear that? PickwickAreaGuide.com.
Email is the same thing, pickwickarea.guide@yahoo.com.
That's great. Well, Clagett, thank you, buddy. And sorry, just missed you a couple of times, but we'll get you back on that once a month. Okay, buddy?
Sounds great. Thanks, buddy.
Have a great day. Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Clagett Talley.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of camping down there on Pickwick, but at the primitive area of the state park, what's called Bruton Branch. And it's funny down there, you know, all the recreational boaters during the day, and then a lot of night fishermen.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there on the bank, and you stare out there at that lake. It looks like an old 60s rock concert, all the black lights on them boats out there.
And anchor lights, too. Yeah.
Anchor lights and black lights.
And then you see the lightning in the background. It comes
Yeah,
up,
right.
I better get out of there and everything. But, you know, this is, like I said, my wife was over there on Monday at the Pickwick State Park. A great location. And I don't know if I'm going to break what I shouldn't. I don't know. I've been told it's but I'm going to say it anyway. In 2015, the Tennessee Outdoor Riders are going to Pickwick Lake.
Okay.
And maybe I'm not supposed to announce that yet, but I am. So in April of 2015, we're going to the Pickwick Lake State Park, which I've been trying to get them to come to because it's a whole new facility. It's beautiful over there, lots of things to do. And so easy drive over to Pickwick. There's so many different ways you can go to Pickwick. Some people go through Mississippi. Make sure you have all your shots before you go down that way and everything. You know, got your passport and
have
all.
Your papers in order.
Have your papers in order right there. You know, no coming over the border. But I love that area over there, and I know Rachel Baker and all the great folks over at with the tourism help those out and everything. But that's going to be next year. But I know we're going to kind of give a little tease here on next segment. Gene, you were up at Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
And
it was a fantastic facility, the Montgomery County Shooting Complex.
Yeah.
I even bought a shirt while I was up there.
I noticed that. You got MCSC. I thought that was something to do with the prison system here or something. You know, I didn't want to make sure that wasn't, but.
Yeah, I had a fantastic time. I got there a day early, so I got to do the speed pistol shooting while I helped coach the kids and score. And we had so many kids. We had 100 teenagers.
100 teenagers.
And all sizes and shapes and sexes, whatever. We had a lot of girls. I was amazed at how good the girls could shoot over the guys.
Well, that's because they listened.
Yes, they do.
Well, and they've never learned any bad habits.
That's right. And one young man, he got really upset because he won it twice in a row.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, and some of them kids outshot him pretty quick.
Oh, man.
But and what bad habits, I mean.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean about that, because I've instructed a lot of kids in shotgun shooting trap and stuff.
Yeah.
And the guys just have, they pick up stuff that since girls have not done a lot of shooting, and you explain to them the basic good fundamentals.
Right.
It's like anything, if you start with good fundamentals.
Yeah.
They'll pick it up quicker and do a lot better than the guy.
Yes, they will.
Who's been, maybe.
Which is what's wrong with my golf game. It's hard to get over old habits that I've done for 40 years.
Exactly.
Well, some hickory, shafted.
Yeah, persimmons.
The mashies in your bag.
The mashie and the putty.
No, that's not what I'm doing here. It's just the power in my body here and everything like that. But that's one event, and we're going to talk on our next segment. Try to hook up with Jereme Odom. He's the wildlife officer in Montgomery County, Tennessee, who kind of helped get this jump started.
Yeah.
In Montgomery County is Clarksville.
Clarksville. And actually, the range is located south of Clarksville in a little town called Southside.
Southside.
Community.
That's a good
there.
name for a town south of Clarksville. It's better than being north side and being on the south side.
But I won't steal Jeremy's thunder talking about the complex because it is really.
You've been there many times.
I've been there several times.
You've shot there a few times and everything. So it's an amazing facility, and we're going to talk to Jereme Odom about it because, and we're just so glad that Gene Smith with Outdoors with Larry Rea was up there and having a great time. Spent 3 days, right?
Yes, I did. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Never changed the sheets.
Never did. I didn't have to.
Didn't have to.
I slept on the floor.
You weren't there. You were out. You were out doing all the other stuff that goes along with it and everything. So, but. Talk about that, and I know that some folks ask me, Gene, and we need to check with you on this. Hunter education programs are because July is a month and August is when you get ready.
Yeah, I started in August. Matter of fact, I got 2 started in August.
Okay.
So you had to get on that website, tnwildlife.org.
That's it.
And everything's on computer now. You have to sign in. What you do, you pick your county. Well, first is Region 1, then you pick your county, and then you scroll down and find your class.
Find your class, but that's tnwildlife.org. Which I look at all the time just to make sure. And you can go to lroutdoors.com and click onto that and find out information of that. And particularly, we have posted on lroutdoors.com all of the fishing rodeo pictures. We have got all the stuff in the Big Cat Quest down in the Mississippi River. It is loaded with videos and pictures and things along that line, information. Don King was in studio here not too long ago, and we got Don King singing the Roadkill Bill song.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
And Blake's right there listening to it. It was a trip for Blake to get to hear.
I heard somebody else singing in the background.
Well, that was the show host. He gets to do that. I mean,
Blake, he gets caught up in the spirit.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
does.
I got caught up in the spirit that day, and so did Ron Wong taking all the videos and everything like that. But real close up. If you wonder what Blake Morgan looks like, you got a chance to go to lroutdoors.com and see. It's right up on him and everything. But all the videos are on there, the fishing rodeo with me and Dance trying to pronounce all the names and things along that line. And we really still, again, the winner of that lifetime license, Ward Simmons, won that lifetime license, and he's 9 years old. I hope it's finally broken into him that he won a lifetime hunting and fishing license. And, of course, the grand champion, which is really close, we had Ward Simmons win the lifetime license. We had Montana Simons won the rodeo. And pretty cool that
a young lady, yeah.
Yeah, but the names are almost the
That's
same.
Mike Mathena's granddaughter.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Mike?
Oh, yeah. We belong to a Black Powder Club together.
Well, he looks like he could,
Yeah, he does.
He fits the part. And
Duck Dynasty looks just like him, doesn't he?
Well, they took all their looks from him, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I got to get with Mike because he's going to take that trip up to Blue Bank Resort, thanks to Mike Hayes and his folks up there to that fishing trip. Well, let's take a break. We're going to come back and try to hook up with Jereme Odom. He's a wildlife officer in Montgomery County, Tennessee, and talk about the Tennessee Outdoors Youth Summit at Clarksville, Tennessee, on Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Now back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on this July 5th. And again, hope everybody is having a great 4th of July holiday weekend. And be sure to remember why we celebrate this weekend, because it is the freedom of our country here, that we live in the land of liberty. And it's a wonderful time to celebrate, and everybody be safe, have a good time, and
show you a good guy. Find you somebody from England and buy him a cup of tea. Or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too much and everything. That's Dave Gabbard is sitting in as he does on the first Saturday of each month, and again, Gene Smith is also with us. And
it's a Daryl and Daryl show.
Yeah, it's the Daryl and Daryl with special guest host Larry Rea.
Larry Rea, and you haven't said that. The thing you always say when I introduce you. What do you always say?
I forget.
Huh?
I slept since then.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go.
Yeah,
there he goes. But Gene was up in Clarksville, Tennessee recently, and really a great trip, and came back just bubbling over with talking about it and everything. He was part of the Tennessee Outdoors Youth Summit in Clarksville, Tennessee, and we're privileged on Outdoors with Larry Rea to have wildlife officer from Montgomery County, Jereme Odom. Good morning, Jereme.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, we're doing great here, Jereme. And tell us a little bit about the Tennessee Outdoors Youth Summit and the way it was started. And in 5 years, you guys have done a lot of and touched a lot of kids.
Well, that's right. We come up with the idea about 5 years ago, and the idea is to reach out and to get students from it when we announce that they have to be in 8th grade to a senior in high school to come to an outdoors youth camp. It's a week-long outdoors camp. And when a youth is chosen to come to this camp, they're able to go online once they're picked.
Okay.
And pick out their schedule. And this year there was 53 classes they got to choose from. And
wow.
It covers everything from shooting sports, all your rifles, pistols, muzzleloaders, traps, skeet, and sporting clays, to biological classes where they go out with our wildlife professionals and biologists to look at snakes and bats and do FLIR studies, deer density studies, learn how to score white-tailed deer, just on and on. We have recreational classes where they go jug fishing and fly fishing and hiking, rock climbing, canoeing, boating. I can go on and on and on. It's just a number of classes they get to choose from. But they pick out their classes, they build their own schedule, and then they come to Clarksville the second week of junior year. It always starts the very next day after Free Fishing Day.
Okay.
And it goes through this week-long camp.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget tomahawk throwing.
That's
what I did.
They did.
That
class is one of the most spoke about classes. They really enjoyed it.
Well, he didn't use it. He teaches two classes. Did you know that? Tomahawk throwing and tomahawk catching. And I don't know if he did that tomahawk catching class. Did you?
Well, I had the javelin catching.
You only did that once.
Yes, one time.
But Gene, you had a great time, didn't you?
I had a fantastic time. The kids were great. That's what makes it worthwhile. That's why I volunteered to do the things I do, because I love the kids and I love the outdoors. And TWRA has been fantastic in both ways.
And Jereme, the idea for this was this. How did this develop?
Well, I represented the state of Tennessee about 6 years ago in Little Rock, Arkansas for No Child Left Outdoors.
Uh-huh.
And while I was at that conference that weekend, I'd always been wanting to do some more stuff in hunter safety. And listening to some of the different programs across the nation, I kind of combined a couple of ones out of Michigan and with my idea that I had and come up with this summit. And I still have my notes where I was putting different words together, trying to come up with some kind of neat acronym, and that's how we come up with toys.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's why when you look at, and I just Googled toys, and you couldn't believe what you came up with, you know.
Right.
But you didn't really come up with that. But the TWRA in this, Dave.
And I've got to hand it to Jereme. When did you start with us, Jereme?
Well, in 2000 was the first year we had it. We had
okay, but I mean, when did you start your career with the agency?
I started in 1998 down in Region 1 there with fisheries.
Yeah, he started over here in Region 1.
I thought you were in Region 1 in fisheries?
Yeah, started with fisheries.
Yeah, okay. And you've been the wildlife officer in Montgomery County for 5 years, right?
No, I come to Montgomery County in 99.
Oh, this is the fifth year for the summit. Okay, so you came in 99.
But we always knew when Jereme got over there and he was coming up with all this stuff and they were talking about him, I said, well, he started in Region 1. We trained him well. You know?
That's right.
And
there's a lot
he helped us with a lot of I&E projects over here.
Well, we just add him to Rattajack and Bobby Wilson. They all come over here.
What's all started this, he was instrumental in this Montgomery County shooting complex.
Yeah, we talked about
I've been a big advocate for. I think our agency's 20 years behind in the range building business.
Yeah, right.
And he was a big advocate to get this push between government and private sector and all this stuff to bring this first class, what I call a full service facility, online.
Well, tell our listeners a little bit about the facility itself, Jereme.
Well, it's like Dave's saying, it's a one-stop shopping. It sits on 145 acres shooting facility. It has 40 to 100-yard range for rifle.
Yeah, you're breaking up on us. We're kind of losing you here on your cell phone connection. I know it's a long way up to Clarksville.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Hold your hand down. Hold your left hand out the window.
Hand out the window, but
that's it. I let my arm down.
That's okay. So it's about 145 acres. That's what you said.
145 acres to include rifle, pistol, shotgun.
Yeah.
We have traps and skeet, sporting clays, known distance archery, unknown distance archery, and 3D archery.
Wow. And how long has it been open? How long has this been a facility?
We opened up in 2006.
Well, I have heard nothing but I know my good friend Owen Schroeder from up there at Clarksville, wonderful guys. He has bubbled over and talked about this facility every time we have a Tennessee Outdoor Riders Conference. And when we were up there for one of our conferences, he showcased it. But to come up with this idea of toys for the kids, and how do kids, if they're listening, I got parents listening this morning in 3 different states here, and I know that they're saying, man, I'd like to get involved with that. How do they get involved in it? What's the cost? Tell the listeners a little bit about how do they get their kid involved, age limits and things along that line.
Okay, when this coming February, on February 13th, we announced the cap for next summer.
All right.
We'll do it through a big media blitz. We'll have it on our agency website at tnwildlife.org.
Uh-huh.
And they're able to go on there, and sign-ups begin on February 13th. Yep. At that time at sign-ups, the youth that is wanting to come to camp needs to be in 8th grade to a senior in high school at that time.
Okay, all right.
And the cost of the camp is $300. That includes all certifications. If they take any of our certification classes, that's their meals, that's their room, boarding, and everything.
Pretty good deal for
Heck, that's
for how many days?
Deal.
It's a week? Is it
it's a week long. They arrive on Sunday night in Clarksville, and they leave on Saturday morning.
Wow. Okay, so folks, you listen to that. Go to tnwildlife.org, February the 13th, and we will post this on LR Outdoors, my website. Keep up with that. I know Dave Gabbard will help me keep up with that, but it is a wonderful facility. And we're talking to Jereme Odom. He is the wildlife officer based out of Montgomery County, Tennessee, right there in Clarksville. And how many kids did you have this year?
This year we had 106 kids sign up.
Wow. Now, is that about your limit? I mean,
well, this year our limit was set for 120. So we can hold, next year our limit, we're going to keep it at 120, but we're able to increase to about 150.
So what about the first one you had? How is it compared to now 5 years later? Is it?
Well, it's a lot more volunteers helping, a lot more classes. It's everything's multiplied. Well, it's still the same format, but just a lot more choices and things to do.
What about this going nationwide, Jereme? I know your hands are full and everything. Other states should jump on this.
Well, yeah, other states have been interested in it. I know Colorado is looking to do something. It's just a very expensive camp that we host, and we couldn't do it without some of our great donors and things to get involved to make this happen.
Well, it's a wonderful thing, and it's called Tennessee. Let me get her Outdoors Youth Summit Toys. It's the easy way to remember that. And Jereme, thank you, buddy, for being with us on this Saturday morning. Again, a great job, and we'll stay in touch and keep going. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, buddy.
See you later.
All right, Jereme Odom.
But yeah, that's that facility up there. They have rifle ranges out to 400 yards.
Wow.
And they provide a golf cart to go down to hang your targets and stuff. But
I've seen it before and know about it, and it's a wonderful. But this idea, and I'm so glad that you got to go.
Oh yeah, it was unreal because it's a first class facility. I mean, everything's first class.
And it worked. It worked pretty well on.
Very smooth. Yeah, they got it down pat.
They do after 5 years and everything. Yeah. But. He had told me yesterday when I talked to him that the tomahawk throw was a hit.
Yeah, I was tickled to death that they really appreciated it. He said that was the only event they stood around and shook the hand of the instructor. It made me feel good.
Yeah, Brother Darrell, where I was about a week or so ago, right after he was up there in Nashville, and I'd stopped out at the Nashville Gun Club to check on some stuff. And, of course, the Scholastic Clay Target Program State Championships was going on out there. And I happened to meet Randy Husky, who is our statewide hunter education program director.
Yeah.
And he was coming out, and I asked him how the camp went. He said, great. And he said that Gene was the hit.
Gene was the hit.
Yeah.
Gene learned all of his tricks from Mingo on the Daniel Boone show.
I used to assist Brother Darrell over there. He had this stunt where I put a cigar in my mouth. He'd cut, one time he went up, and I caught my hand for a wink.
Oh, my God.
I guess it was Jamie told all the kids that I need somebody to stand up and hold a target. Now, I cut one kid's ear off last year, and they was all nervous, and, of course, he was just pulling their leg.
Well, let's get this straight now.
They was all worried to death I was going to do something like that with them.
Well, I know Gene was excited when he got back. I've already had 3 or 4 calls from him telling me about
anything with kids. I love doing anything with kids because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, and that's a feel-good event and everything. And he said 8th grade through a senior in high school at that time, mid-February of next year, they'll start rolling up, and they can hold 120. It'll be the best $300 investment you have for your kid.
I don't see how I could do it for $300.
When you think about the meals and all the things they learn about.
Meals and the ammo and
we all stayed in the hotel.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's a pretty amazing event. All right, let's take a break. Blake Morgan is our show producer. We're going to come right back and switch gears a little bit and see if we can hook up with one of our favorite guests always on Outdoors with Larry Rea, and that's the one and only Boyd Duckett, pro bass angler Boyd Duckett. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Now back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Rea. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning from 6 to 7:30 right here on Sports 790 in Memphis, Tennessee.
We do?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Particularly on the first Saturday of the month. Normally take your
I
calls.
thought this was a cooking show.
But we're cooking up some trouble.
Okay.
I just came in and get a drink of water.
Well, you're stuck here now. And that's, of course, that's Dave Gabbard and Gene Smith, who co-host always on the first Saturday of each month. And once again,
never knows it's July already.
It is July.
You know, that's what know, and it's funny that once you clear the month of February, which seems like is the shortest month.
Yeah.
But it drags on forever. Then you get into it, and the rest of the year flies by.
Well, I know for this next guy, the year flies by because he's busy. He's got so many.
Well, it beats the alternative.
Well, that's true. He's got so many alternatives. So he's got so many things going on there, and that's our good friend Boyd Duckett, a professional angler from down Alabama way. And first of all, good morning, Boyd.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Oh, we are doing great. It's always great to talk to Boyd on the radio, and our good friends at Vicious Fishing just recently announced a little partnership with Boyd. And tell our listeners, Boyd, a little bit about that hookup with Vicious.
Well, I tell you, that's a real exciting opportunity for me. Basically, what we're doing, we are building a whole line of Boyd Duckett Signature Series baits.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've got square bills, deep diving baits. Got a few spinner baits, got a frog, some top waters. I mean, we are really coming with the arsenal, and it's a great partnership. You know, I've been with Vicious for a long time.
I know
their line.
Yeah.
Pro Elite Fluorocarbon, you know, is the best I can use, and the opportunity to get involved with these guys and actually get to, you know, create the baits, work together. Nobody's in a big hurry, and what I mean by that, we're casting molds, testing them. We don't like them, we change them, you know, so it's going to be kind of a slow process, but we're going to make them right, and I'm going to get to build some stuff that's not out there that really performs well, and, man, it's just super exciting, you know, to have a chance to work on a project like that.
And also, will you get to help name them? I love to. That's if I ever come back, I would want to be the namer of fish baits. You know, I love
kind of right up there by rates the naming a bird dog.
A bird dog. Yeah. I've done that, but the names are cool. So are you going to be in that? You going to get a chance to name a bait?
I'll tell you, we have all worked together to name these baits, and I'll tell you what we've come up with. I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit early.
Okay.
You know, while we were naming them, of course, it's a Boyd Duckett Signature Series line of baits.
Right.
And so we've been calling them like a BD square bill and a BD 12, you know, just in reference back and forth emailing.
Yeah.
We've got a BD 16. And then one day along the way, somebody said, you know, why don't we just call it a BD 1.5?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, in our 12-foot rubbing crankbait, we'll call it a BD 12, and
there
a
you
BD
go.
frog. That's what we did. We just made it easy. They're all BD bait.
Well, that's an easy way to know that's
how much was left in the bottle after the session?
yeah, that's what you need to know.
No, that's great. And these are the new BD series. I know you're going to kind of showcase them at ICAST, right?
We are gonna show everything that we've created so far at ICAST, and they'll be available, in the winter, this upcoming winter, and we are really, really excited about showing them, man. It's some fun stuff that, like I say, it's not a matter of, taking a bait and putting your name on it. We have legitimately sat down, created these things from the hand-carved mold up, and that's really cool. That doesn't happen much anymore.
Well, I know we're talking to our good friend Boyd Duckett from, I know his hometown is Demopolis, Alabama, and Boyd, you've been on this show before, and I know a lot of our folks say, man, what a life. I mean, never in your wildest dreams did you think, when I look at this thing, this guy has almost won $1.5 million. He's caught over 3,400 pounds of fish in BASS tournament. That's 119 tournaments, 6 classic appearances, 1 classic wins, 70 times in the money. And I look back and I think, hey, man, you could be in the song business writing songs right now. So,
yeah, I tell you, I've been real fortunate in my life to get a chance to chase a lot of dreams. I really enjoy that. I do want to make one correction because I'm real excited about it. We moved the operation of Duckett fishing late last fall.
To Pell City.
Yeah, no, to Guntersville, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. You're in Guntersville now.
So I'm in Guntersville. Yeah. The home of Duckett fishing, and still haven't finished my house. That's been quite a project. I've got a house that's really close to complete right there on Lake Guntersville, and I tell you, we are really enjoying it here. In fact, I'm on the lake today. I took the call out here floating.
I figured you had to be, but
he's got a few more concrete blocks he's got to share it up with.
Yeah, he's got to do that and everything. But still living the dream, boy. Tell us what's up next, because I understand you're heading to Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, the Bassmaster Elite Series is fixing to go north. Our next event is at downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Believe it or not, that's kind of, I don't think any of us have been there, but downtown Philadelphia, we're fishing the Delaware River. That should be really interesting, a lot different than what we're used to. So I'm looking forward to, I love it when bass changes these venues. When we go to these odd places, instead of, Guntersville, Kentucky Lake, Okeechobee, all the, and those are great lakes, don't misunderstand me, but going to the Sabine River and going to Philadelphia, we're going to Cayuga Lake in New York this year, one of the Finger Lakes.
Wow.
Those are really neat changes for all of us. It makes you really have to get on top of your game, find new fish, can't fish the same old places, and so those are really exciting to me.
Well, we're talking to Boyd Duckett, Bassmaster Classic champion, has had a wonderful career. And Boyd, recently we talked last week. We talked to Randy Haynes, and we talked to Jason Christie, and I don't think a lot of folks realize the grueling side of this. And I wanted to ask you, because none of us are getting younger, and I don't want to age you, buddy, but it's a demanding schedule, isn't it?
It's demanding, and I'm 54 years old now.
Okay,
throw it on out there, man. And I've done this for a long time, and it is wearing, and you have to, try to find a way to use some of the age and wisdom and some of what you've learned to beat some of these young guys that are so strong. We'll fish 14 straight days a lot of times, back-to-back events, and you got to try to stay in shape and mostly stay mentally focused. If you get tired, you lose your mental focus, and that costs you.
It does cost you, and at the same time, here I'm still advocating again for a senior tournament. We got senior, we got the Champions Tour in golf. I'd like to see some of these guys, and I'm amazed that some of them are still out there, because the time you spend on the water in tournaments is nothing compared to the time that you spend preparing.
That's right. I think a seniors tour is a great idea.
Well,
pass that word on to somebody. It'd be me.
He would probably fit in the dough ball division.
No, who would?
You would.
Me, I would not fit in there at all. But I'm telling Bill Dance to back the senior division. Okay. That's what I'm trying to get him to be the commissioner of. Because
I love it.
He could do that and everything. Well, Boyd, I appreciate you, buddy. Again, this bait, you and hook up with our good friends at Vicious, and also we need to let them know a little about Trophy Technology too, because that's part of the partnership and everything.
Yeah, the whole deal, it's a partnership with Trophy Technologies. That's actually the company that is doing the design work, that's working with me directly. That's what the partnership is. I'm remiss to have left that out. But, yes, it's a vicious branded bait. It's going to be the products will be completed, designed together between me and Trophy Technologies. They're a great company. They've got some really cool stuff out there. Yeah. Yeah. Reaction Strike and a caustic. I mean, everybody's familiar with, if you want to throw the best swim baits in the world, that caustic stuff is second to none, renowned on the West Coast. So they've got 7 or 8 companies. They're already really good at what they do, and I think we'll be very successful with this venture.
Oh, I think so. And a lot of our folks, of course, my long-time association with the fishing industry and know about Trophy Technologies because these people, listen to this, folks. If we know Vicious. We've talked about Vicious and things like that. These guys have tackle stores in 43 countries, including, I start mentioning these things, man, some of these countries, South Africa, Australia, Poland. This is a real cool setup, and they're going to have at least 50 baits, right? At least 50? Is that what you're looking?
Yeah, at least probably in number of SKUs to start with, but, I mean, we're already working on 250 or 300 baits, including all the color SKUs. There'll be that many SKUs in the line eventually. We're not going to get in a big hurry. Want to do it right. No,
I know that, and since you don't do nothing to begin with, I mean, just to add another one. Well, Boyd, thank you again for being on Outdoors with Larry Rea. Go get them up there, and as I said off the air, if you find Jimmy Hoffa in the river up there, let us know. Okay.
I'm liable to find somebody, and I'll sure tell you about it next time I'm on.
Just make sure you have your papers in order when you go north.
You got that right.
All right. Thank you, Boyd. We'll talk to you. Good luck.
Thanks,
all right.
Thanks, guys.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Boyd Duckett from Duckett Fishing down in Lake. I forgot he had moved to Gunnersville, and that's kind of that's a drawing point now for anglers going to Gunnersville and everything like that. But going to fish the Delaware River in downtown Philadelphia.
And
that never came to my mind that might be doing it, and how many baits there are out there. But pretty cool, Boyd Duckett, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I knew several bass fishermen. They would take a pilgrimage up north, like in New York, and fish fish that Thousand Island area up there.
Yeah,
they mainly go for smallmouth.
Yeah,
and it's funny up there that everybody up north is kind of walleye crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't even pay attention to the smallmouth, but they go up there, catch. They said the smallmouth fishing was unreal.
It all counts. All right. We're going to take a break on Outdoors with Larry Rea on this July 5th. Blake Morgan, take us out of here, and hope to come back and talk to the one and only Byron Ferguson. We'll be right back.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis. Go local on 92.9 FM ESPN. Go national on ESPN 790 AM.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry Rea. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gastons White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports. Now, here's your host, Larry Rea.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790. This is Larry Rea talking outdoors that we do every Saturday morning. Closing in August. We'll be 13 years on the air, and this being the first Saturday of the month, that means that Gene Smith
Good morning.
is in the studio, our hunter education guru, and of course, his other brother Daryl, as he says, Dave Gabbard, the minister.
Good morning.
The minister of propaganda for the Region 1 TWRA.
Yeah, I'll tell you anything you want to know, and we're afraid to ask.
Well, I don't think you want to talk archery.
Let's talk archery.
Let's talk archery. And who would you rather talk archery with than anybody in the world?
Probably Byron Ferguson.
I
can't get Fred Bear anymore. He's passed on. But, Byron.
No, we can't get Errol Flynn
No.
either. Anybody like that. We could get Katuna Lori going here.
But
let's talk to Byron.
And we could put you in green tights and a pheasant feather in your hair.
Hey, I'd rather talk to this guy right here, the one and only Byron Ferguson. Good morning, Byron.
Good morning. How's everybody in Memphis this morning?
Good.
We're doing good. We're trying to dry out. That's all we can think about, buddy.
I think my brother Daryl's mildewing over there.
Yeah, we even the studio here. But Byron, you folks out there, you've listened to Larry Rea long enough to know that Byron's one of our favorite guests on the show, and the amazing Byron Ferguson. When I look about and what I think of Howard Hill and all the people, the legends of using the traditional longbow, and that he's coming to Memphis, folks, July 19th and 20th. He's going to be out at Everything Archery out on Pleasant View Road.
Yeah.
Ty Davis and all the great folks out there for the St. Jude Archery Tournament. And Byron, I know you give back a lot to the community, and anything with St. Jude is worth coming to, isn't it?
You got that right. I ran into a young man years ago at the Memphis airport that was undergoing treatment there at St. Jude.
Yeah.
I talked to his father, and he told me how great they were, and he was a poor man, couldn't afford to pay anything, and they were taking care of him and for no charge. And I said right then, if I ever get the opportunity to do anything, all they got to do is ask me, and I'll do it.
Well, I know this is going to be a great event, folks. You need to be aware of this. July 19th and 20th, I said, at Everything Archery. And not only is it going to be a lot of fun, a lot of competition, but you're going to get a chance to meet and greet Byron Ferguson and talk about his wonderful career in archery. And I know he's based out of Hartsville, Alabama, but he's all over the world. His schedule, Byron, is unbelievable. I don't know what's going on with you in 2014.
Well, it's starting to wind down a little bit. I've got just a few exhibitions left, but after we're in Memphis, my next one is in Holland.
In Holland?
It's a short drive.
Just a short drive. Yeah, just a short drive to Holland.
Are we busting tulips or wooden shoes?
I'm looking for some wooden shoes.
Yeah.
Hey, Europe has been pretty special to you, buddy. I mean, you have had when you think about your career and everything, not only in the United States, and I've got to admit that I miss the great Ducks Unlimited Festival that Byron was so much a part of and everything. But going to Holland is, I mean, what country in Europe have you not been to?
Good question. None of the communist countries.
Okay. None of the communist countries.
Amen on that.
Okay. All right.
Last year I was in a place called Joensuu, Finland.
In Finland.
And they brought me out to, they called it a mountain. It was just barely a hill.
Yeah?
But there was a lake, and on the other side of the lake was Russia. So I figured I was close enough.
That was close enough and everything. Look back, Byron, I know, do you paint yourself sometime that's the way life has changed and what's brought to you?
Oh, I'm truly blessed to be able to do what I love to do and actually make a living doing it. And it's like, if you like what you're doing, you never work a day.
Exactly.
Well, when you look back on it, age of 12, if I'm not mistaken, you've told me before that you started, picked up your first bow, if I'm not mistaken, working as a bricklayer. Is that right?
That's correct. I started shooting bows when I was 10, but that was borrowing bows from neighbors and relatives.
Uh-huh.
When I was 12, I worked as a brick mason's helper one summer to earn the money to buy my first bow. Yeah, it was a Browning Wasp recurve that I ordered from the Western Auto Store.
All right.
I had one of those.
You can, yeah. Who hasn't started from? And he's already said Western Auto Store
That's
like
right.
that and everything. Did it come? Is this a? I know you practice. I know you do these things, and things come to your mind. Trick shots. How do you do? You wake up in the night and say, "Hey, I think I'll try that trick."
Well, anymore, a lot of those ideas come from viewers from the television shows.
Uh-huh.
And I've actually had people a lot of times come up to me after an exhibition and, have you ever thought about trying this? And no, I hadn't, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, really?
So, again, I'm blessed to have friends all over the world that help me come up with those ideas. And occasionally, on a rare occasion, I might actually have a good idea myself. That's those are few and far between anymore.
Well, so what's the trick that you're most known for?
Oh, I guess, it used to be shooting through the diamond ring. I did that in Tokyo in 1989.
In Tokyo in 1989. Yeah.
Anymore, it seems to be the aspirin shot.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I seen him on Top Shots do that.
Yeah, the aspirin shot. And,
And the way that came about, Larry, I had been to Europe doing a show, and when I got back, it was in the magazines that I was over shooting aspirins out of the air. I said, I never had shot at an aspirin at the time. That's a pretty good idea. So that's how that came about.
Oh, that's pretty amazing and everything. But anyway, Byron, we appreciate you taking time, buddy. You're always welcome.
I have a question for Byron. Over the years, has your practice,
routine?
Routine. Has it changed much over the years, or?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I first started, it was every day, 7 days a week. Those marathons in the afternoon. But then a few years ago, I was watching Evening News, and they were talking about the University of Alabama's football team going into 5-a-day practice sessions. And a light bulb went off. I said, that makes sense.
It took you that long to say that, see?
That long, yeah. But what I do anymore is I'll shoot 4 to 5 times a day for about 30 to 45 minutes each time, just whenever I get a break to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll do that every other day. So I'll take 1 day to rest.
Wow.
That helps me more than anything I've ever done.
Well, folks, again, those dates, July 19th to 20 at Everything Archery out on Pleasant View Road out in the Bartlett area. And we'll see you out there, Byron. Thank you, buddy, for taking time. And look forward to seeing you in July. Okay, buddy?
Thank you. And one more quick thing. We got a special surprise for everybody that comes out there this year.
Wow. Now, listen, he's left us this now. A special surprise. Y'all hear that out there? And
anyone that wants to shoot the bow and arrow that's never shot before, anywhere from 2 years old to 200 years old, we will fix you up and let you shoot the bow and arrow.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. That's July 19th and 20th. Thank you, Byron. See you there. All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Byron Ferguson. And we're going to hook up now with the young lady who is the founder of this event out at Everything Archery, Melissa Ham. We're going to get her on the to kind of close out this segment because I think this is a great event for St. Jude. At the same time, the money raised for St. Jude, at the same time, you're going to have a chance to I got black ink all over. You're going to have a chance to see the one and only Byron Ferguson.
We'll take your fingerprints here after the show.
Everywhere. They're everywhere. Look at this. We got Melissa Ham on with us. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Oh, we just talked to Byron, and he's looking forward to coming here. Tell our listeners what the dates and what's going to happen out there at Everything Archery.
Well, we're having the second annual St. Jude Archery Tournament on July 19th and 20th of this year at 5454 Pleasant View Road at Everything Archery.
And what's going to happen? Ages what to what? Is it for anybody, or what's it open to?
It's for anybody and everybody. The competition, we are actually using NFAA guidelines. So ages 9 to 99, we have 4 different divisions. We have the youth division that is 9 to 13 years old. We have the young adult division, which is 14 to 18, and the adult division, which is 18 and up. And our seniors start at 50 years of age.
And it's going to be at 5454 Pleasant
View Road in Memphis.
And the times, what are the times going to be?
Well, we start at 8 o'clock. Well, actually, registration starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday, the 19th.
Okay.
And 8 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
You can pre-register online at www.stjudearchery.com. You can pay online, or you can go to the shop at 5454 Pleasant View Road and register there, pay cash, or however you want to pay for it. And 100% of our net proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Oh, that's wonderful. And that's July 19th and 20th. It's coming up pretty quick, folks. And we're going to have all this posted on my website, lroutdoors.com. And this is an event, Melissa, that you came up with. And what's the real purpose of this?
Well, the real purpose is to give back to St. Jude.
Yeah.
My son is a patient, has been for the last 7 years, and was really big in archery. He got me involved in archery. I happen to be a 3-time Tennessee state champ.
Yes,
and wanted to give back to St. Jude in something that I love. We can promote the sport of archery and give back to a wonderful organization that actually gave me my son back.
Isn't that something? And that's a wonderful story. That's why I wanted Melissa on. I'd heard that story from my good friend Bill Woolridge and Ty and the folks out there. At the same time, Byron Ferguson is a pretty good draw, right?
Oh, he is, and he's a wonderful man. He actually came to us and said, "How can I help?"
Yes, he told us about meeting the young man at the airport long time ago in his career, and anytime he could do anything for St. Jude, he was going to be there. And do you know where he's going to be after he comes to Memphis?
I sure don't.
You know where he's going? He's going to Holland after Memphis. Now, is that not a combination?
What a drive.
Is that not something that tells you where his heart is?
Absolutely. He has a huge heart, and we are very fortunate to have him coming to Memphis, and we're excited to have him here to invoke all of his knowledge for us and to all of our friends.
Well, I think it's a great event. And again, you can go to, ByronFerguson.com to find out information. Give them that website again, Melissa.
It's www.stjudearchery.com. We're also going to have some huge raffle items for people to win at the tournament. We have a fun shoot. We have archerytag.com that is going to be there with a great archery arcade game that you can purchase tickets for. You can win our raffle tickets during our fun shoot. You can register for all of this online. We also have a char-broil grill we're giving away.
Whoa.
There's $5 raffle tickets.
Okay.
You can buy them online at our website, or you can purchase them at the shop or the day of the tournament, and that will be given away on Sunday.
Wow. Well, it's going to be a great event. Mark it on your calendar, July 19th and 20th.
Larry wants to know if you're going to have a can't-hit squat division.
Why do you end that just like that?
Well, I've seen you shoot.
Yeah, well, you have definitely seen me shoot. But anyway, Melissa Ham, thank you. God bless you, and it's going to be a great event out there, and we appreciate you being on Outdoors with Larry Rea. We will stay in touch, okay?
Thank you, Larry. We appreciate it.
All right, have a great day. All right, let's take our next break. That was fun. Going to come back and talk about another big event that's coming up real soon in Memphis on Outdoors with Larry Rea on Sports 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Rea.
Now back to Outdoors with Larry Rea on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Rea as we wrap up today's show on this July the 5th, first Saturday in July. Gene Smith, Dave Gabbard in the studio, and we have breezed along here as we always do. Blake Morgan is our show producer, and as I mentioned leading into this, we've got another event coming up that is a worthy cause. That's July the 12th out at Poplar Tree Lake and Shelby Forest State Park and WMA area out there and everything else. And our good friend Chris Park is on the line with us, and Chris is the with the TWRA Wildlife Manager, too, from the Lower Mississippi River units. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today?
Everybody's
doing. I keep Brother Darrell awake or where we're doing okay.
Yeah. What was that? I'm afraid to ask and everything. But
that's a water buffalo.
I just hope his cell phone doesn't go off. If I hear that rooster crow again, I don't know what I'm going to do. But Chris has got an event going on July the 12th out at Poplar Tree Lake. Tell us what's going to happen out there, Chris.
Yeah, we have with the NSO of America. They're going to have 40. Active duty military sailors that will be coming out for a bass tournament, and it's a partners deal that they do across America, fishing and hunting all across the U.S. But they're going to be here in town at Poplar Tree Lake, and it's at Meeman Shelby Forest State Park. Going to start July 12th, and what we're looking for is some volunteer people that will provide their boat and I guess their services to take these sailors out fishing.
All right. You guys hear that out there? They need help. All you listeners out there, they need boats and they need people to help. These sailors are coming from Millington. They're on active duty. They're sailors. They're in the Navy, and they're going to be bass fishing out there at Poplar Tree Lake on July the 12th. And Chris needs some help, right?
Yes, sir. And it's a free event. There'll be a great time, where you can meet a new friend and on the water fishing. And a lot of these guys have never been fishing before. So it's introducing them into the outdoors and into fishing. And it's going to be free, and they're supplying a free catered lunch for the guys that are providing the boats and everything like that. So we're looking for a big time. It's going to be a little warm, but we're looking for a good turnout. We need some help, and we need it bad.
Need
with some boats.
Yeah, they're going to have a.
I don't know. With this crazy weather we've been having in July, it could frost.
Yeah, you can't ever tell. But that's July the 12th. They're going to have a. People need to get there about between 6:30 and 7:30. They're going to assign the active military with each boater. A safety briefing at 7:30. They're going to launch at 8. They're going to weigh in at 2 o'clock. And for you folks that are wondering, well, how are they going to do with this at Poplar Tree Lake, which has for trolling motors and paddle boats? Tell our listeners how this is going to work.
Well, we've been working with the park manager. His name's James Wilkinson, and we've been talking to him. And what we're going to do in the safety briefing is explain to the boaters that it'll be no wake speed, very low idle. On the lake, just for them to be able to get across the lake and stuff in time and stuff. So that's a little special deal that the parks did for us to help out with the boats that are going in and out of there. So they were gracious enough to allow that for this one-time event.
And Poplar Tree Lake, how big a lake is that?
I'm not for sure how many acres it is. I've been on it many times since I was a kid, and it's got several fingers in it.
It does. There's bass.
It's over 100-something acres.
And there's bass in it.
There's tons of bass in it, and there's some good bass in it.
There is some good bass in it. And so, Chris, how do they get in touch with you? How do folks who want to help out get in touch with you?
Best way to do it is email me, and my email is chris.park, that's P-A-R-K, at tn.gov. Or they can call my cell phone at 731-695-5314. All
right, that's chris.park, P-A-R-K, at tn.gov, or call him at 731-695-5314. We'll have this posted on lroutdoors.com. Chris needs help. I'm putting the help sign out there. He needs help quickly. And I want to see folks out there that I know love fishing, bass fishing, love our country, and these sailors need some help out there. They need a boat. They need somebody out there that can help them catch some fish. And so you folks out there who are listening this Saturday morning, that's July the 12th, Meeman Shelby State Park, Poplar Tree Lake. Contact Chris, contact me on my website or whatever it might be. Give these sailors a Saturday to remember, okay? That's what I'm asking. Okay, listeners out there, let them know. Chris, thank you, buddy.
Well, I got to ask one question.
All right.
Shift gears for a minute.
All right.
What's your crops look like?
Yeah, let's ask him that.
The crops are not looking good at the moment. Sunflowers at John Tully look really good. We have not been able to plant any corn for waterfowl due to the large amounts of rain. Looks like we received right at 11 inches of rain at Eagle Lake Refuge over this past weekend. Wow. So we're at full pool with water at Eagle Lake Refuge, and here it is July 1st. So July 2nd is we got another rain, and we're trying to drain everything as quick as we can and trying to get a crop in before it's too late.
Now, your responsibilities are what management areas, Chris?
I'm over all our WMAs up and down the Mississippi River from Lauderdale County to Shelby County. That includes President's Island, Eagle Lake Refuge, and Shelby Forest WMA, and John Tully WMA.
And I'm concerned about the poults and the turkeys and things along that line, too. All this rain we've had and bad cold weather early.
I know that's right. And the best thing is, though, we did not have the river flooding. We just had minor flooding this spring.
Yeah.
So that helped tremendously compared to what the last couple of springs have been like, where it's been completely underwater. So we have seen some poults, and so hopefully we'll have a good hatch this year.
Well, I hope so and everything, but we need it. It's July and it's supposed to be hot and thunderstorms every once in a while. But let's get some drying off here. That's what
we
I say.
need some dry weather to get them tractors back in the field.
That's exactly right. All right, Chris Park, thank you, buddy. We'll be talking to you. And again, folks, July 12th, Chris needs some help. Give him some help. All right.
Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Chris Park. And he needs some help, and he needs it quickly. And I know I just found out about this week, or I would have been putting on a horn out there. But all you friends of mine that's got a bass boat, give Chris Park or me a call and tell him you can help him out. Let me tell you about next week's show. We're going to have a special guest on next week's show. That's the Ducks Unlimited president himself, George Dunklin Jr. George was recently among a group of conservation leaders that got to go spend some time with President George H. Bush to commemorate his lifetime commitment to conservation. They were all up there at Maine at Kennebunkport and had a chance to meet with President Bush and spend some time with him. And so we're going to talk to George about his trip up there. We'll also talk to Steve McAdams, get our monthly Kentucky Lake fishing report, Billy Lindsay of Lindsay's Resort, of course, our West Tennessee tourism update with Marty Marbury, and we're going to talk to professional bass fisherman and the Bass Fest winner himself, and that's Jacob Wheeler on next week's show. Ron Wong and Brian Brasher will be in studio with us as we talk on next week's show. And I know that, again, go to lroutdoors.com. You'll be blown away by all the videos that we've posted up there from the fishing rodeo.
You get my photo on there?
Your photo's on there, particularly with those things hanging from your ears.
And the new
the cricket rockets hanging from your ears.
Yeah. That may be a new trend.
That may be a short-lived trend.
Yeah,
I think it might be and everything. But that'll be on, go to lroutdoors.com. As I said, they got all the videos from the fishing rodeo, the Big Cat Quest, Don King in studio here. A lot of fun. Thank you, guys. Dave Gabbard.
Always a pleasure.
You were on the road again.
Yeah, on the road again.
There we go again. Yeah, back from Georgia. Man over there with a tomahawk.
Yes, sir.
And then when we have them in next time in August, Dave will be at the Duck.
I'll be at the Duck Blind Drawing.
And we'll find out how things are going.
That's right.
In 1 month to see if there's anything to draw for, right?
Right.
Okay, all right. Blake Morgan, thank you for taking care of us. This is Larry Rea reminding you I do each and every week that it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.
You can find out